Hello? Hello, hello. Alright. Um, Apparently we're live? Are we live? Uh, oh my god. My computer's gonna crash. um, what the fuck is going on? Oh, okay. Uh, alright. So people will come in as we go along, but I just wanted to do this stream again. I kind of want to do this once a week. And also, I'll let you know that I have a new video out, so please check that out if you haven't. It's about Charlie Kirk and all of his dumb shit that he's done over the past couple of years and all the mess that he's created. So, yeah. Let's just jump right into it. So, tonight we're going to talk about three different things. We're going to talk about one politically related thing, which is like this 2020 presidential run, and get down to this drama in the latter part of the stream. So, what I wanted to say about the 2020 presidential run is I'm not personally too thrilled with the should I say list of characters that are coming into Smash Brothers, because I mean it really is for every single presidential candidate that comes into the fray, there's going to be a it's pretty much just like a reveal for Smash Brothers, right? There's all this hype that goes into it, and there's all the cooking streams and the the Beto opening his mouth at the dentist, and Beto O'Rourke, who ran for Democratic senator in Texas this past November and lost to Ted Cruz. For anyone new who's watching this, I'm a registered Republican in a very progressive state. So I guess I'm not entirely surprised that I'm not entirely thrilled with the candidates that they have. Mostly because I'll get into it, but a lot of them have some baggage, of course, but I just have really fundamental disagreements in how they're carrying policy and how they're framing their presidential runs. First one being Tulsi Gabbard, right? So Tulsi Gabbard was notoriously, she's a congresswoman from Hawaii. She notoriously was on the DNC committee in 2016, but stepped down after the DNC, quote-unquote, rigged the election against Bernie, which I think the only legitimate argument you can make in terms of rigging the Democratic election is how super delegates work. I don't think that super delegates should decide the Democratic nominee, but they've had that system in place for years. But if you do look at the vote counts for the states that Bernie did run in, you could see for the much bigger states, Hillary had a much bigger showing. So it's very hard to make that case that Hillary rigged the DNC election unless you're pandering to the lowest of hanging fruits who will just fall for any conspiracy theory that comes their way. But Tulsi Gabbard became famous for that, and she is a well-known, she has friends at the Young Turks. That's strike one. She is very fond of people like Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian, and very fond of this sort of, she has, oddly enough, she has spoken out against radical Islam, yet she sides with Assad. And even though she never says out loud, "Oh, well, I am, oh yeah, I'm siding with Assad. I'm openly siding with Assad." She still took upon the, she still took upon her own liberty to meet with Assad in person, not necessarily to challenge him, not necessarily to tell him there are these issues that are happening in the country, and a lot of them are because of your role as the leader of Syria. A lot of it was trying to partner with Assad as a way to fight back against the terrorists, even though the terrorists have been minimized, but people are still getting hurt. This is very, very troubling, and I think that's one really big strike in my book, because when I look for the role of president, my thinking is national security, because first and foremost, the president is a commander-in-chief. The president is not an all-powerful dictator or ruler. That's how our Constitution works. Excuse me. That's not how our Constitution works. And when I think of who I want to vote for president, I think of the person who is going to be at the head of our armed forces and make the right calls as to what to do, and have a clear mind when it comes to intervention and foreign policy, right? And this woman out of the gate, doesn't even. I mean, she thinks that the U.S. is the reason. She follows this theory that the U.S. military has propped up all of these terrorists, and she believes in this, international law defends us from intervening in Syria because they have a right to their own land. Like this sort of, I hate to use the word, but regressive. It is a regressive talking point. We've evolved it to a point in our foreign policy that America, along with a bunch of other Western nations, have a huge say as to what happens in foreign policy. So, because of that, this thinking that we are not going to be involved in Syria anymore, or rather this call to leave Syria, is very, very dangerous. And she's, made similar statements that are very that line up with this theme, such as when North Korea was feuding with Trump, or rather, I think it was when the Hawaii alert system was accidentally triggered. Tulsi Gabbard was the first one to come out and say, "Oh, we should be negotiating with Kim Jong-un and making sure that he doesn't make nukes again, and make sure he doesn't make nukes again by compromising with him." And I think that's also extremely dangerous as well, because and she says the reason that she was running has to do with war and peace, which is really just mantra for, hey guys, I'm anti-war, look at me, I don't want to get my hands dirty, I want to retreat from the world, and I'm profoundly naive. I think that's what that says. And healthcare, she's on board, I think, with this Medicare for All. I mean, she's pretty much like a proponent to Bernie Sanders' campaign in 2016. But she kind of exhibits more the dangerous parts of that campaign. I mean, I think that campaign, Bernie's campaign and his ideas are relatively dangerous, but I think Tulsi Gabbard kind of pushes them to a much like the problems become a lot more apparent when she uses her platform. So to be honest, I don't think that Gabbard is going to get a lot of popularity because it was revealed on Twitter today that a whole bunch of white supremacists and Nazis actually want Tulsi Gabbard to run for office and defeat Trump, specifically because of this very, very isolationist foreign policy that she exhibits. And I think, in my view, that's extremely dangerous. I think that hurts our standing in the world. I think people respect us because we are involved in other countries and our military is helping our allies out, and it's helping people all around the world. And no mistake about it. Like, this call to retreat from the world militarily, amongst other things, is extremely dangerous and will have everlasting effects if she ever comes into office. Hopefully she doesn't make it past the first couple of months, but yeah, she doesn't really mention meeting with Bashar al-Assad. Of course, there's Elizabeth Warren, who announced for her presidency. I'm not entirely sure what she says with regards to foreign policy, but it seems like she's very on board with the single payer. I don't think she's very interested in improving on what we currently have. She's kind of in this team that just wants to gut ACA and wants to insert Medicare for All, which, in my opinion, won't really quite work. The implementation of what they have now, I don't think will work with the system that we have, because it is a state-based system, and each state has its own rules with regards to what age you can start to get the age ranges and the enrollment process. All that stuff is different per state, and I think she's very much on board with the single payer model that's described in M4A. But I would have to do a little bit more research on that, to be quite honest. Julian Castro is also running. He was the former housing secretary for Obama, and I guess his platform... See, the thing is that, like, a lot of these people are sort of running on this platform where they... a lot of it is just, we really don't like Trump because he's offensive, and he's caused a lot of turmoil. I mean, that's not wrong, but I think that in order to reveal themselves to a much broader audience that... Oh, geez. Ad blocker. Come on. My computer froze. Okay. Well, I guess we're not reviewing that article. A lot of these candidates are... I don't think they're running on this... on this idea of compromise and understanding with their opposition, and kind of the things that you'd want to look for in a presidential candidate as well, with regards to making deals with the House Majority Whip and the Senate Majority Whip, right? We see the manifestation of a failure of this from this past week when Pelosi and McConnell tried to make a deal with Trump, and when Pelosi said, "Oh, we're not going to fund part of the wall," apparently, reportedly, Trump stormed out of the meeting at that time. So, if you don't have a president that can work with Congress well, I don't think that presidency, in my mind, is bound for failure, and it's sort of manifested itself during the Obama years, because neither Congress nor Obama wanted to really compromise on anything. So Obama used a lot of executive orders and went around Congress to do what he wanted to do. So his legacy is only contingent on these executive orders, and a lot of his legacy, he wasn't really a compromised president, I don't think. Now, I think someone like Hillary Clinton or Mitt Romney or even John McCain would have been very good compromise presidents, because they've done a lot in the past to reach out to the other side and to work out all the nuances of a problem and come to a solution that satisfies the most amount of people, right? Because that's why people go to Congress. Now, there's one Democratic candidate that I am sort of setting my eyes on. I don't think she's going to get anywhere, but this person named Amy Klobuchar, she is a senator from Minnesota, and she made a short video with regards to what the president didn't talk on his border wall speech. So here it is.
He didn't talk about the farmers who have trouble getting help to figure out the new farm bill because there's no one, the doors are closed. He didn't talk about the small business owners who can't get loans. He didn't talk about the people who are working the front lines at the airport to protect our security who aren't getting paid. And he didn't talk about the fact that the Chinese landed a craft on the moon while his government was shutting down NASA. That's just wrong. I'm ready to go.
Well, you guys get the point, though. Yes, so she sort of explained all the systematic failures that are happening because the government is shut down. And I'm not saying that government shutdowns can't help influence. I mean, they definitely can. They influence the public opinion negatively. A presidential shutdown can be a decent bargaining mechanism, I guess. If you're a president and you don't get what you want. We had one during Obamacare. We had one somewhat late last year with regards to the wall, actually, and now one of the longest shutdowns to date in, I think, U.S. history, in recent U.S. history, is happening right now because of the wall. So, because the government shut down, a lot of these candidates are talking about how, the wall is divisive and, no immigrants are illegal, and kind of like this rhetoric which is they're sort of filled with empty platitudes. They don't really get down to the crux of the issue of the government being shut down. A lot of these commentators are focusing on I think Trump's antics are sort of the distraction. What people need to be talking about are the effects of the shutdown. And I think Klobuchar is targeting this very well. And I've heard rumors that she might be running for president. I really hope she does. She sounds great. I probably disagree with her in quite a bit of stuff, but she seems like a fairly uniting figure. So if no Republicans are running against Trump, I will probably vote for her. And if anyone else gets the nomination from the Democrats, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do when my vote for president comes around. So, yeah. So, I mean, right now, there have been some sources that that are sort of telling us that there are certain people who are expressing interest in running for president. One of them being Bob Corker, who is in the Senate for 12 years. He just left. Jeff Flake just left. He's a former senator from Arizona. John Kasich, he ran last election. He's been very vocally opposed to Trump. Larry Hogan from my state, represent. He's the governor of Maryland. He has expressed interest. I don't think he's going to run. I would really love him to. And out of this entire list, I probably would choose either Larry Hogan or, I don't know, it would either be Larry Hogan or Jeff Flake, I think, out of this list. Bill Kristol, I think, is a little bit too loud sometimes, but he's a pretty smart guy. Apparently, he wants to run for president, too. So, there's going to be some interesting developments over the next couple of months. I'll keep my eye on it, but I don't want I don't want the majority of my channel to focus on this, because there's so much out there on YouTube to talk about, and there's so much more that interests me besides politics, that I don't want to stick with talking about this for too long. But I guess I'll just push it out there. My initial reaction to the whole election news cycle, because that's starting to ramp up now, because people are starting to tune in and tune into these races, and people are starting publishing all the articles and all the dirt of all these candidates. So yeah, I think it would be interesting, but I'm not going to spend all my time on it. So, but yeah, but to end this, there's this really great article I would love for y'all to check out by Stephen F. Hayes, who used to work at the Weekly Standard, which has shut down this past December, and he's sort of calling for a Republican candidate to challenge Trump, because Trump is pretty much proven himself to be not only not helpful, but pretty much destructive to our politics. And it's destroyed the Republican Party, and it's actually kind of denigrated the Democratic Party as well, because people bought in to all the conspiracy theories regarding Hillary Clinton, not only on my side, but on the left as well. That sort of gave an opening. It created a wormhole for progressive leftists to take over and hijack the Democratic Party. And he's sort of saying that, like Democrats are sort of in a bind at the moment. It's sort of in an identity crisis. There's no unity. I mean, there's unity on some issues, I think, like the healthcare. I think they're fairly united on that. But I mean, I honestly think that defending ACA and just having market solutions built on top of ACA there are only a couple of Democrats that hold that opinion, and it's surprising. Like a couple of years ago, that would have been like a majority opinion in the party, but the party, I think, is shifting so far towards the left that that would be a minority opinion in that party. It's also a minority opinion on the right as well, in the Republican Party. But But yeah, this is sort of like a call for someone to run for president. I don't think Hogan's going to run for president because he just got elected as the governor for 4 more years. So I would love for him to run in 2024, but 2020, considering he just won, a governorship, the governorship again, historic winning in Maryland, by the way. He should run in 2024. So, but yeah, it's a great article. It's called "The Country Needs a Republican to Challenge Trump in 2020." Okay, so the next topic is talking about this girl named, how are we doing with the comments? Is anyone listening? Do we have radio silence? We got American Empire. What's up, dude? Shit. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about this girl named Cassie Standy. Who is Cassie Standy? She is a beauty vlogger who just started a channel 12 days ago. She posted on the 1st, right? And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because she makes the most innocent content in the world, right? So she's made, I think, 3 videos. One is this Q&A. One is this, if I can ever get to it, she does a makeup video where her boyfriend applies her makeup onto her face. And I think it's a pretty innocent video. I'm not going to play it, but what I am going to do is look at the comments, because this is where the interesting part comes in. So, apparently, some trolls in the alt-right, on 4chan, took this woman's video, posted it all over Paul on 4chan, and this channel got raided. It got raided by these dickheads on 4chan, on specifically Paul. I don't have much of a problem with the rest of the website. I have some problems with how the website is formatted. Like, I tried to search for something on 4chan today, and I couldn't find literally anything because there was no search bar. So, yeah, I'm going to be responding to some of these awful comments. And maybe some of y'all... Oh, there's my comment. So, yeah. Jamal will bounce as soon as the pregnancy results come back. Come on, man. That's... I mean... Look, like, if you want to throw around those jokes, I personally don't care, because I'm pretty much desensitized to this shit. But if you're going to comment, make that sort of comment, do it on, like, Sargon's channel, or, like, an alt-right YouTube video, or, like, one of Millennial Woes' YouTube videos. Don't do it here. Like, I'm not going to prevent you from saying this, but come on, man. This video is the most innocent thing in the world. It's a woman hanging out with her boyfriend, doing a Q&A of, like, oh, how do we know that we loved each other, and sort of like this this mundane shit, you know? It's like the most innocent video. And, you know, you see this 13% commit 52% of the crime. It's like, yes, okay, that's true, but at the same time, it's entirely inappropriate for a video like this. She should not. And of course, there are a bunch of people saying, future single mother. Yeah, it's just, okay. Okay, this guy wrote an essay. Let me give you a bit of advice, because you seem very naive. Okay, naive for posting a video with your boyfriend. Okay. Not that I think you'll actually take it, but here it goes. what you're doing is incredibly stupid, not only because you're willingly betraying your race, ooh, okay, but because you lack a basic understanding how the world works. It's no longer a well-hidden fact that Jews control the Federal Reserve. Okay, this guy came directly from the Ralph Retort stream. This guy definitely watches the Ralph Retort. I'm sure of it. The Federal Reserve, mainstream media, and immigration policy. Yes, okay. Are you gonna make the argument to me that Obama and George Bush and Trump and every single modern president was Jewish under this definition? Because I'm pretty sure they control, along with the Border Patrol, they control immigration in the United States. Like the Jews don't have anything to do with it. Mass immigration, miscegenation, Marxist indoctrination equals easy to control, low IQ population. So he's making this assumption that the Jews, as like the boogeyman, are gonna, come in with their Marxist indoctrination, and they're gonna control the populace. Obviously, this is bullshit, because here in America, you can pretty much do whatever you want as long as it doesn't break the law. I keep hearing this argument over and over again, and I think it's ridiculous, because they haven't really shown any concrete examples of how this could work. And yeah, so I guess we can keep reading this. Jews want whites to race mix so they can rule over us, really. So you're saying the Jews want to rule over us after they've been exiled from every single place that they've been throughout over the course of history, and almost every single government that the Jews have taken refuge with, they've been exiled to some extent. I mean, every once in a while they would have a ruler, like I think when they were in Russia, either Alexander the Great or some other ruler in the 1700s made a ghetto specifically for the Jews and did specific things for them, but no one liked them because of this same exact shit, conspiracy theories that you're sort of propagating. And what the fuck does this have to do with a woman just doing a Q&A video with your husband or boyfriend? It doesn't do anything. You can read Bible passages as much as you want. Ha! Okay. But it won't change the reality of the situation. We may very well face war and genocide in not too distant future. Your Bible will not save you. Well, okay. I think he has a point. I think the only point I'll even take relatively seriously is the Bible will not save you. I think religion is garbage, and it should be thrown out the window. It seems like this girl is religious. I would tell her, throw that shit out the window as quickly as possible, but of course I don't want to control her life. I don't know her in person, and I don't think it's appropriate for me to push anti-theism onto her specifically. But yeah, it's funny because this guy is implying that the Bible is moral here, and he's trying to be, the face of reason and logic and facts, where he's representing the Bible as this moral thing, where he represents his argument as immoral. Now, yeah, here's the problem with that. The Bible by itself is an immoral document. People who follow their lives by believing in things like stoning and dietary laws and hatred of other types of people, is propagated by a fundamental belief in certain passages in the Bible. Now, I'm not going to say that, Christianity is the same as Islam. I think Christianity is better than Islam, but it's still bad. So if you're implying that the Bible is the moral standing here, I think you're very much wrong. But I gotta go with the other comments. So, okay. Natural selection. You will be left out. Your father must be proud. Oh, man. That's... Oh, Jesus Christ. Natural selection. Okay. So this guy is into the whole IQ argument, and if she has sex with him and has a baby, she's gonna be her children will be stupider, which is honestly garbage. It's sort of a garbage statement because it's using Charles Murray's IQ stats in such a malicious way as to imply that the black race is inherently stupider than the white race. I think Charles Murray did have an impact on that discussion, but I think a lot of people like this guy maliciously use his work, and others who have done studies in who've done studies in this field who've done studies in the field of genetics, that these people use their I mean, sure, like the alt-right will talk about the IQ issue all day, but when it comes to emotional intelligence and right brain versus left brain and developmental tendencies and all this, they'll never talk about that because it's not it doesn't follow with their narrative. Their narrative is pretty unnuanced, and it's pretty much okay. Well, I take everything with that Charles Murray says as fact, and if we take it as fact and we don't just consider those measurements as being statistics, probabilistic interpretations of what intelligence looks like, and I think that would change based on population size and based on how many more black people there were versus how many white people versus Asians, all different types of races. And it would be helpful if that study were conducted today and how different of results that we would get. I would assume that the bell curve would look more like an upside-down parabola, because from what I've seen, we, as a generation, our generation, or the Generation Z, is turning out to be a very, very smart and savvy generation. And it looks like humans are having better gene pools, because I'm not really an authority to talk about this, obviously, and I'm sounding like an idiot, but I'm pretty sure if you look at children, no matter what their race, today versus 100 years ago, kids are much, much, much smarter today than they were at that time. So, yeah, I'm not entirely convinced by this natural selection. Now, here's an interesting comment. Just delete all the Nazi comments. It's better off that no one sees them. So this is like the total opposite of these guys, these basically conspiracy theorists and race realist guy. And this is like SJW, right? Delete all the comments. Don't let anybody see anything. This is kind of problematic, because I think that if she deleted all the comments, no one will have ever known that there were people here who said awful things to her. I think that the fact that the alt-right is coming after a beauty channel right now shows how pathetic they are. They've lost the battle of ideas. They were given an opportunity after Richard Spencer became popular at the end of 2016 to come out and present their ideas to a new audience, and they failed miserably because every single person under the sun when Charlottesville happened, almost, left and right, there were people who were defending Trump and not really talking about the Charlottesville situation, but there were quite a few conservatives who did come out, and people who you wouldn't normally expect, like Ben Shapiro obviously came out against this, but Ali Stockley came out and she said, we should not tolerate, people on our side should be calling them out, and I think that was a really great video that she made. But I think these comments should stay here because it shows how pathetic these people are. And how these people should be treated. They should not be treated. We should not be treating these people seriously when they're going around and saying Jews are taking control of the U.S. government by changing demographics in the country. What are you using for your source for this? No, I'm not going to take these people seriously, and these people should be treated as kids, and people should, I hardly delete any of my tweets, and if I make mistakes, I leave them there because they're reminders to myself not to do them again. So hopefully, if the comments stay there, people will look back and say, hey, that anti-Semitic comment I made, that was kind of dumb. I'm not going to do it again. Just more people giving her support. So disgusting. Okay, that's just not appropriate. Look, if these were comments in a Sargon video, I wouldn't be surprised. I really would not be surprised. If you're going to post this shit, post it there. But this girl does not deserve any of this. And I'm pretty much on the internet. When it comes to the internet, I'm fairly much a free speech absolutist with regards to, and I wouldn't even say that these people should be banned from saying these things. What I'm saying is that these people, one, show that the alt-right is pretty fucking pathetic. They're going after someone who doesn't have a political voice and someone who doesn't make political shit at all. She's just a random makeup channel. And these assholes, well, okay, looks like she's getting a lot of support. That's good. Let's see. Newest first. Yeah. Ugly Colberter, your time shall come. Oh my god, it's like assuming the role of Thanos here. Fuck you, twat. Pole in the house. Yeah. No fucking shit, Sherlock. I'm a Millennial Matt fan, and he sent us over here to tell you that we disagree with your relationship. Oh. Millennial Matt. Yeah, he was, posing as a Trump supporter, but then he was found out to be alt-right or something. I don't know. Chat, can you help me out with this? Who is Millennial Matt? Who is Millennial Matt? Does anybody know? Okay. Chat does not know. Alright. I guess we'll go back. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to kind of cover this because, yeah, she doesn't deserve any of these comments. And I think the way that people are responding to this is totally ridiculous. And I hope these comments subside and she, does more stuff with her boyfriend, and she seems like she's going to have a successful channel. So there's my 2 cents on that. I think that's pretty straightforward. Now, I do want to briefly... I know a lot of channels have been covering this. I was considering on making a video about this, but I don't think the controversy is really... There's not really much to talk about. I feel like... So, Logan Paul's... newsflash, Logan Paul's in the news again. And this time, he said, no. He didn't just intrude traffic and throw Pokeballs to Japanese people and act like a dumbass. He said a word, and it upset a lot of people. And let's see what that was.
So our New Year's resolution, what Mike was hitting on, is we're vegan now, and we're sober.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, on a serious note, for real. Yeah, that's good.
Just for the month. So, I mean, like,
January is sober vegan January.
Yeah.
And then February is
fatal February.
The exact
We're gonna
opposite.
go the opposite. So like
okay.
day
All
one,
right.
steaks, like big bottles of Tito's and shit, like
Hell
just
yeah.
wilding out.
and then March.
Yeah.
Take a guess.
It's Coachella, so wait, no,
No, that's next
April. That's
yeah.
April.
You see
So
the
you're
lineup,
gonna
by
do
the
it
way?
again.
You see the lineup?
So you're gonna be vegan and sober again.
No. It's what is it? Male only March.
Male. Why don't you say this part?
So it's male only March. We're gonna attempt to go gay for just 1 month.
For one
Oh,
month.
damn.
And that sentence fucking pissed everybody off. You have progressive activists online calling Logan Paul a homophobe. You have activists online. Here's a tweet. Here's a spicy tweet. Go to Mother's Basement. My arch nemesis. Actually, my channel name is sort of ridiculing his channel. For those who are interested in the origins of John Smith's Basement, it's sort of I was sort of taking the piss out on this guy, but nevertheless, he did say something idiotic when it came to this. Yeah. In January 2020, Logan Paul is going to kill someone, film it. The only way he can keep his streak going. Okay, so I'll respond to him here. So the first thing, like, him saying this joke, which in context, he was talking about doing different things every single month. So 1 month he would be vegan, the second month he would eat a lot of meat, and the third month he would just only fuck males. That's the only thing that he would do. And this is not the same. This is not the same as Logan Paul obstructing traffic and filming a body in the suicide forest. The two are not equivalent. So these people who are going on tangents and implying that Logan Paul is this horrible person. Oh, okay. H-Bomber guy commented, there'll be a fan contest to be the victim. It's 1.6 million people will enter. Very cool, H-Bomber guy. Very funny joke. Fucking idiots. Okay, so yeah, so these people who are equating his actions from these people who always want to wag the finger whenever he does anything are going bananas. because of some words that he said. Okay, if I said that I want to experiment and only, I mean, I'm very, very heterosexual, but if I said that I only want to have sex with trans women for a month, if I said that, I should be able to say that without hurting your feelings. I should be able to say that out in the open. When people say America is a free country, they're referring to the ability to say stuff like this and to not have, not only be imprisoned, but not have, this is not something that Logan Paul should have his reputation shredded over. This is a simple joke. I think the joke is that he's trying different things and it sort of seems out of place. Maybe not the best joke, but it is still a joke in context. And I understand, like, biology tells us that we don't choose our what we're attracted to. The chemistry, the biochemistry inside of our bodies decides that. I realize that. But I should still be able to say, oh, hey, even if even if Logan Paul wasn't joking here, he should still say, I think I might want to try having my dick sucked by a guy. It may be interesting. I don't know. It might be an eye-opening experience. Everybody's just got to chill out for a moment. Like, this is not the end of the world. I think a lot of people are speaking up about this to place themselves into drama that really isn't even that controversial. He just said, hey, maybe I might want to get my dick sucked by a guy even though I'm heterosexual. That's it. And I don't feel like making a whole video about that because I don't think it needs a whole video. So yeah, that is the end of the planned stream. But if anybody in chat has any questions, it seems like Red Devil is the only guy who he's the only one in the chat right now. This got weird. How many other people are watching this? It says 4. Whatever. I mean, if no one else is asking questions, I guess I might just leave. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to do more of these. And if you have suggestions of things I should... I plan to do this every week. So if you have suggestions of things I should cover, I'll cover pretty much anything from... I mean, my channel is mostly representative through political stuff, but again, I'm trying to expand into other providing commentary for other types of communities. So if you have something about the furry community that's funny, feel free to send that to me through DMs on Twitter, or just write in the comments here for suggestions. And yeah, this was fun. So I guess I will see you guys in the next video, which should be out maybe sometime next week. I'm not quite sure yet, but all right. So I'll see you later. Okay, bye.